Aloha and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to mix it up a little bit and talk about Magnum's wardrobe and specifically about Magnum's hats. Now, Magnum was definitely a hat guy and he wore many hats throughout the series. But did you ever wonder which hats he wore the most throughout the series? Or which hat was his favorite? Well, if so, you are in luck because I can provide those answers. Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and assume that the hat that he wore the most throughout the series was, in fact, his favorite hat. So, without further delay, let's get into it. And yes, these totals also include the two crossover episodes with Murder, She Wrote and Simon and Simon. And to start things off, coming in fifth place is Tom's black wool beret, the beret that his team wore in Vietnam. This beret was worn in 8 episodes throughout all 8 seasons of Magnum. And this one actually caught me off guard. I thought for sure that there would have been a different hat that scored higher or was worn more than this one was during Magnum. But yeah, not the case. It comes in 5th place. And look at a few screenshots here. This is from the pilot episode. And a couple more here, which will lead us to our 4th most worn hat throughout all 8 seasons of Magnum. And that 4th place hat is Tom's camouflaged Navy SEAL hat. Tom wore it in 12 episodes. And this one actually surprised me a little bit as well. I thought that this one would have scored a little higher. But nope, it's came in 4th place. And we'll look at a few screenshots here. The 3rd place hat is Tom's Al's Automotive and Muffler King Tigers hat. It was worn in 16 episodes. And we'll take a look at a few screenshots here, which will lead us to our 2nd place hat. And I'm sure you probably already figured it out. The second most worn hat by Tom was the VMO2 Da Nang hat. It was worn, Tom wore it in 53 episodes. And this hat, it was the Marine Corps squadron that TC flew with in Vietnam. And it was a real Marine Corps observation squadron that operated in Da Nang, South Vietnam from 1965 to 1971. And from what I understand, Don Belisario, he wanted a hat that TC and Magnum could both wear, kind of showing that brotherhood between TC and Tom and Rick. However, you only ever saw TC and Magnum wearing the hat. You never saw Rick. I don't think there's an episode where he wore it. And that's probably just due to the fact that Rick, let's face it, really wasn't a hat guy. And this hat, having TC and Tom wear this hat makes more sense than having them both wear a SEAL hat, as you know, TC was not a SEAL. He definitely would never wear a SEAL hat, whereas Tom, I'm sure many a time, hitched a ride on hitched a ride with the squadron. And we'll go ahead and just take a look at a couple of screenshots here. And I'm sure you cannot guess what the number one hat is. Of course you can guess. Was there ever any doubt? The number one most worn hat throughout all 8 seasons of Magnum was the Detroit Tigers hat, the traditional navy blue Detroit Tigers hat. Tom wore it in 102 episodes, almost double from the number 2 hat. You may or may not know that Tom Selleck was born in Detroit, Michigan, and grew up a huge Detroit Tigers fan. And when he started to put together the wardrobe, Thomas Magnum's wardrobe, he jumped at the chance to kind of make this Detroit Tigers hat Magnum's kind of flagship number one hat. And we'll look at a few screenshots here. So yeah, there we have it. The top 5 most worn hats throughout all seasons of Magnum. Do you have a personal favorite hat? My personal favorite is the camouflage seal hat. However, Tom wore many, many more hats than just these 5. Maybe your favorite's not in this list. Comment below what your favorite hat is and maybe why. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And lastly, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.